Inspiration sparks and raises our vibration, encouraging all of us to live our best lives. It is now my pleasure to welcome our speaker this evening, Jen Rosson. Jen is an ordained minister and endeavors to be an inspiration to all those she serves. She is Vice President of SCOA and the Director of the Spiritual Expression Center. A warm Harmony Harbor welcome to Jen.
Thank you, Jonna. Today's inspirational reading is a short poem by an Austrian poet and novelist, Rainier Maria Rilke. He is known as a significant contributor to the legacy of 19th and early 20th century European authors who explored various aspects of mysticism through their lens of subjective experience. This poem comes from Rilke's Book of Hours, Love Poems to God, and is titled Go to the Limits of Your Longing. God speaks to each of us as he makes us, then walks with us silently out of the night. These are the words we dimly hear. You, sent out beyond your recall, go to the limits of your longing, embody me. Flare up like a flame and make big shadows I can move in. Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final. Don't let yourself lose me. Nearby is the country they call life. You will know it by its seriousness. Now give me your hand. Well, happy Sunday, everybody. It's good to see everyone here this beautiful June day. I hope, like Goldilocks, that your summer is wonderful, not too hot, not too cold, but just right, somewhere in the middle. It's an honor always to share this space where we dedicate time to explore all the possibilities, that are around for inspiration and growth on our spiritual journeys. I think it's important to make time for periodic self-evaluations of where we're at on our path of discovery on this plane of existence. Others commonly ask questions of us, right? Like, what do you do? What do you have? Trying to figure out where exactly to place us on the ladder of life using financial or social criteria. A better question would be, who are you becoming? Now, that's a much more important question, helping to gauge our progress on the spectrum of spiritual maturity, which in turn affects all other aspects of our lives. Spiritual maturity is the process of growth and development of our inner being as we work towards the goals of enlightenment and wisdom. This ongoing development doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow, progressive transformation propelled by purposeful intention. Despite what anyone might say, spiritual maturity doesn't mean that we have it all figured out. It's about traveling with an open mind and an open heart. It reveals qualities like how gracefully we forgive, how fully we love, and how sincerely we live. I was intrigued by this idea surrounding spiritual maturity. So I did some research and curated a group of 10 characteristics or partner components that were pretty much universally agreed to be the essential elements necessary for the growth of spiritual maturity. At the heart of spiritual maturity lies not with how much knowledge we have, but how much we care. Love and compassion are two profound forces that have the ability to transform each of us as well as the world around us. In this context, love refers to the unconditional, selfless energy that flows effortlessly without regard to any external conditions. Compassion is the complement to that unconditional love, opening up our sense of empathy and understanding and connecting us to the pain and joy of others. Compassion is love in action, bridging divides and fostering unity. Together, love and compassion act as guiding lights for our ability to live with integrity and humility as active participants on this journey. So vital are these two virtues that the Dalai Lama said, love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive. Humility has been called the great equalizer in spiritual maturity because it helps dissolve the barriers of ego and self-importance that tend to divide us as individuals. It's the recognition that no one is superior or inferior. All of us are an equal part of a much bigger story. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. As we mature spiritually, we understand that our value is not tied to status or wealth, but is instead rooted in the part of us that resides within the collective cosmic consciousness. When we embrace humility, we no longer need the validation to be seen as better than others, which leads us to a greater sense of inner peace. It's been said that the deeper your wisdom or maturity, the quieter your ego. Through acts of humility, we come to understand that we are all on the same journey, each with a unique path towards spiritual awakening, but each equal in potential. Wisdom and its partner discernment help to guide us toward understanding and then determining the appropriate action. Not just accumulating knowledge for its own sake, but gaining the ability to apply that learning in alignment with higher truths. Wisdom comes through lived experience, self-reflection, and putting gained knowledge into practice, seeing beyond surface appearances with an open heart and mind. Incorporating knowledge with intuition, discernment is the action verb to wisdom, helping us to distinguish between truth and falsehood and what might be beneficial or perhaps harmful. Together, they help us navigate life's complex situations with grace and integrity, ultimately leading to greater clarity, growth, and an increase in compassion while we live in alignment with divine principles. Self-control and discipline provide both the mechanism and the inner strength necessary to align our actions with those divine principles. As we grow spiritually, our maturity is revealed through how we incorporate these insights into our daily lives. Self-control involves regulating our emotions and impulses, which are often driven by ego, through consciously pausing to reflect before we respond, acting thoughtfully and intentionally instead of being triggered into habitual responses. In this way, we direct our time and energy towards things that truly matter. When challenges arise, self-discipline keeps us committed to our spiritual path. Through investing our efforts in consistent practices like meditation and prayer or acts of service, we increase our connection to the divine and expand our infrastructure of spiritual understanding. Through self-control and discipline, we construct a solid foundation of inner peace and clarity on which an authentic, intentional, and harmonious life can be built. Faith and trust are the cornerstones of that foundation, allowing us to move with the flow of life, acknowledging the wisdom of the universe. Faith in the spiritual sense is not blindly believing in something unseen, but understanding that there are greater forces at work, and it's okay to not know the exact route forward ahead of time. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase." All of it, all that life throws at us, good or bad, has a purpose in our soul's journey. When our inner GPS is busy recalculating around an obstacle, trust allows us to relinquish control, knowing that we're never alone, even when our path is unsure. Faith and trust impart hope and resilience. They allow us to act with grace in the face of opposition, knowing that all of it is a part of our individual spiritual journey. Our eternal soul is always evolving, reflecting the growth and learning that continually takes place on this earth plane. Spiritual maturity is not a destination, it's a process of internal and external expansion of our horizons of understanding, transforming our hearts and our minds and our actions as we learned through experience and mistakes. This experiential form of learning cultivates curiosity and openness. It intertwines with humility as we recognize there's always something more to discover, something more to understand and integrate into our daily walk. Every mistake is a lesson. Every success is an opportunity. And every misunderstanding is a reminder to reflect on and evaluate our actions. Spiritual maturity is a dynamic process of growth and an unending quest of learning. Service and generosity are the natural byproducts of many of these virtues, like love, humility, wisdom, and faith. As we mature spiritually, we move beyond an ego-based perspective to an outlook dedicated to helping others. Service is not about ego fulfillment, not about praise or recognition or validation, but rather offering kindness and a helping hand without expectation of something in return. Our inner sense of compassion for others compels us to contribute to another's well-being or to help alleviate their suffering. Material wealth has no bearing or meaning on the generosity of our spirit. Everything, material, spiritual, emotional, everything is a potential gift to be shared. Service and generosity transcend our egos, encouraging a greater sense of unity with our fellow travelers. Balance and harmony are reflected through the characteristics of inner peace and equanimity, allowing us to remain calm and steady through the hurricane of challenges that this life has to offer. Inner peace is cultivated through the process of learning to quiet our monkey minds. When we release expectations that are tied to outcomes, we can form a sense of commitment and acceptance, which in turn allows us to remain undisturbed within our inner sanctuary. Inner peace's partner, equanimity, or keeping an even mind, is about a mental and emotional balance that is unswayed by external turmoil, able to maintain grounded and centered through all of life's ups and downs. A life rooted in truth, in alignment with the divine, is guided by the principles of authenticity and integrity. Authenticity is about transparency, difficult with words today. Authenticity is about transparency with ourselves and with others, embracing our vulnerabilities, acknowledging our flaws, and celebrating our individual uniqueness without the need for validation from others. It silently voices the courage to live our individual truth, even if it challenges expectations of those around us. Carl Jung described authenticity as the privilege of a lifetime to become who you truly are. Its companion, integrity, is maybe best described as doing the right thing even when nobody is watching. It's the alignment between thought, word, and deed, culminating in actions that reflect the values and principles of our authentic self. The culmination of all of these components, the natural products of our spiritual maturity, are the strong relationships that are forged through mutual respect, compassion, and authentic connection. Our companions on this journey act as our sacred mirrors, reflecting our level of spiritual maturity. Annoying acquaintances polish our patience. Our best friends mirror our self-worth. More challenging or confrontational relationships can be considered growth catalysts, promoting one aspect or another of our spiritual growth, whether we like it or not. Strong relationships are transformative in nature, providing opportunities for self-reflection and healing, while frequently providing unwavering support for the path of our journey. As we travel this journey through life on the earth plane, we are asked to confront it head on, to meet it fully with courage and conviction. Rilke captured that in our reading when he wrote, "Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final." That's the concept of inner growth in a nutshell, welcoming all of it, the full spectrum of experience, without losing our moral center. Spiritual maturity doesn't mean avoiding the storm. It demands that we face the headwinds with openness and trust. As Rilke wrote, "Nearby is the country they call life. You will know it by its seriousness. Give me your hand." The seriousness isn't somber. It's a sacred trust It's the drive and the courage to keep becoming. Even when the path is foggy or unclear, the knowing that we are never alone. Spiritual maturity isn't a checklist. It's not gauged on a scale from 1 to 10. It's more like a garden that needs to be tended consistently with patience and care, and occasionally a little necessary weeding. We're not after perfection in this life, but presence, continuing to return to what we know to be true, even when we occasionally forget or fumble. Through the process of spiritual maturity, we learn authenticity. Our gaze on others softens, our roots deepen. We realize that the loudest voices are not necessarily the wisest, and that stillness is not empty, but instead a sacred space of peace and harmony. Whenever we question whether or not we are growing, whether or not we are becoming, don't evaluate the answer on how much we think we know. Instead, ask, how patient have we become? How easily do we forgive? How bravely do we love unconditionally? How willing are we to start over every morning of every day, in every moment, with every breath? Wherever you are on your journey, remember, you're not late. You're not lost. You are becoming the person the world needs you to be. A full, authentic being that is sharing this road with unconditional love for all of the other travelers, now more than ever. God bless you, and thank you for allowing me to share today.